Hello, everyone. Thank you for meeting with me today. My name is Madison Benjamin, and I will be presenting a research-based strategy to increase national awareness of Little Einstein's baby food. Our product has an amazing benefit, raising childhood IQ by up to 20%, but our current marketing approach is not allowing the public to fully understand the science behind our product. Today, I will walk you through the problem, the alternatives, and my final recommendation. Here is a quick overview of what we will cover today. We will start with the background and problem we are facing, then look at the main reasons why our awareness is low. I'll explain why this problem matters. I'll walk you through 3 alternatives I analyzed, evaluate each one, and then present the recommended strategy. We will end with the budget, the expected outcomes, and the next steps. Alrighty, the background. Our baby food is FDA approved, scientifically supported, and shown to increase IQ development. However, our sales just are not reflecting that value. The main factors holding us back are low visibility, misunderstanding of gene splicing technology, and uncertainty among investors. This combination has prevented us from reaching parents at scale. Overall, if investors are seeking this, it's just, we're not going to make any money with low investor confidence. It's just not good for our brand at all. Next, the significance of the problem. It's not a marketing issue, it is a perception issue overall. Parents don't know that our product exists. They're unsure about gene splicing technology, and investors interpret this as a high risk investment. This low awareness leads to low trust, and low trust leads to limited investment from our investors if we do not address these issues thoroughly. Altogether, our growth as a brand will stall. Alrighty, next up, we have the first barrier, which is low visibility. One major challenge is that parents simply aren't seeing us. Our current PPC and displayed ads aren't reaching enough people. And even if they do, banner ads are one of the least trusted forms of online advertising. They take up maybe 1 inch of a computer screen, and they just don't give enough space for us to address the current mistrust of the science, our FDA approval, the impact of our product, which makes it just very, very, very ineffective, especially since our product is groundbreaking scientifically. Next, public mistrust. This is mostly emotional, not really logistical, but gene splicing overall just sounds very intimidating, especially when it comes to what parents are putting into their children's bodies. And there's really no access to clear explanations about what this technology really is. And without accessible education, fear will just fill in the gaps here. So the stigma isn't really coming from the science, but more so from a lack of overall communication. Okay, the third risk, investor risk aversion. Investors pay close attention to public opinion, and when they see parents expressing confusion or hesitancy, they interpret that as high risk. This is why we need a strategy that not only educates parents, but also shows investors that our audience understands and supports the product. Positive public engagement can directly increase investor confidence in this way. Communicating this clearly would absolutely increase investor confidence in us, and therefore increasing the investments. Alrighty, now I would like to go over the alternatives I have considered. I've evaluated 3 possible approaches: traditional online advertising, pediatric clinic outreach, and a social media driven strategy. Each has strengths and limitations, but overall only one can address all 3 of the concerns at the same time. Number 1, the PPC slides, the ads, they boost visibility. For most companies, they boost visibility by 200%. However, parents aren't really searching for a solution they never heard of, and because banners feel untrustworthy, they don't offer space for any education or help us correct any misconceptions. It just isn't ideal For our company, they're also the most expensive option in the long run. This alternative increases exposure but does nothing for understanding. It does not address the stigma behind our product at all. As you can see as well, back to the cost, $8,000 to $15,000 a month is extremely costly, especially since we are already struggling due to lack of investor funds. Alternative to pediatric clinic outreach, this option has high credibility because parents really do trust their pediatricians. The main issue here is reach, though. How often, when you are sitting in a clinic, do you look at what is on the wall or what brochures they have? I would say, unless you are very bored sitting in the office, you really don't. And so, honestly, even though this is a really credible option, it has very limited reach and is very slow scaling. It also would be very expensive in the long run, just as we would have to spend more money, not only for the clinics to support us, but also on all of the materials. And finally, here we have the social media strategy. This is my personal favorite option and the strongest alternative of the three. Social media lets us reach millions of parents quickly, affordably, and in a format that they trust. Research shows short form videos improve understanding of scientific concepts by more than 80%, especially the use of mom-based creators would really build deep creativity, allowing us to educate, build trust, and create social proof all in one. Next up, we have the key components of this approach. First, influencer ambassadors for our brand who can help translate gene splicing into everyday language and reassure parents from a relatable perspective. Parents want advice from other parents, and this approach would allow us to do so. Secondly, educational short form videos. This would be preferred to be done by more scientific based creators, as people will trust their opinions, trust that they know their facts. And then third, boosted posts and community engagement will help boost the content that we'll be making here, both the science explaining why it's safe and both the mother influencer content to reassure parents that our product is safe after they see their favorite creators using them personally with their own children. Okay, and then finally I have the budget summary. The full 90-day pilot would cost between $10,000 to $22,000, depending on influencer tiers and post frequency. This is significantly more cost effective than traditional advertising while offering much higher engagement. And because we're using influencers and videos, we maximize value for every dollar. You're not just paying for the trust and the clarity, but you're also paying for those first impressions. The way that you are viewed online as a whole is very important, especially as word will travel fast. So those good first impressions are very, very, very important with this. And then as you can see here with the chart, I have the minimum and the maximum cost. This will all depend on the influencers that you choose. Bigger influencer, bigger cost. Wrapping up with the expected outcomes, by the end of the 90 days, we would expect a clear increase in national awareness, reduced confusion around gene splicing, and higher parent engagement, and a visible positive sentiment online. These shifts will directly translate into stronger investor confidence and a more supportive environment for long-term growth. Okay, and now to wrap up with my final recommendations. Based on this analysis, the best path forward is the social media strategy. The 90-day pilot is absolutely the strongest and is the only option that reaches parents at a scale while also educating them and building trust. It also addresses every part of the problem, the awareness, the stigma, and the investor hesitation. And then finally, our next steps. They're simple. Firstly, we need to approve the 90-day pilot budget, identify onboard influencers, and then develop 10 to 20 short educational video scripts, and launch targeted campaigns on multiple popular platforms, such as TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And then from there, we can track the engagement, the sentiment online, and then investor response throughout to measure our impact. Thank you so much for having me. I hope that we progress in the future and that we have a good outcome.